perspectives. So when we talk about nutrition, we talk about nutrition-sensitive interventions and nutrition-specific interventions. So for us in the Ghana Health Service, we are concentrating on the nutrition-specific interventions. So for instance, we are looking at how children will be fed. We talk about breastfeeding. We talk about complementary feeding, as she mentioned. We look at how mothers will not become anemic. So we'll talk about counseling mothers on healthy diets. We talk about how all the population will be well. So probably we'll talk about how to prevent obesity and all that, how the general public will eat well. Those are nutrition sensitive things, and they are anchored in the Ghana Health Service Administration. But then there are nutrition sensitive things, and the key one is agric. When now we are saying nutrition in all policies, so now agric is putting nutrition in their policy. But when agric, maybe traditionally, they just think about producing food. So that is it. But the food they produce will affect people's nutrition. So it becomes nutrition sensitive. Something that people don't even relate to nutrition is hygiene, wash, water, sanitation. It's very, very important. So Ghana Health Service don't produce water. We don't talk about sanitation. But what water does in the sanitation of the country affects nutrition. And I'll give you a typical example. We talk about stunting, which we have been battling with. Now we are saying that 18% of our children are stunted. So when we talk about stunting, we say, oh, give them more food. They will grow big, they will grow tall. But they eat their worms in their tummy. They eat their running diarrhea. You see, there's no water. Even when children learn in school that we have to wash our hands, they go home and there's no water, there's no soap. So all this affects them. And as children develop worms and they develop diarrhea and things, it affects their GIT, the very organs that will process the food. So the GIT even becomes such that even when the food is eaten, it is not able to digest well, it is not able to be absorbed well. So they are eating, but they are not growing tall as we want them to grow. So you see, because we have failed to provide wash services, even though we are producing enough food, our children are not doing well. This is a typical example. The livelihoods of people. And this is, if people are poor, how do they buy the food? And if they don't get food, how do they get good nutrition? So, prospects, and gender issues, the empowerment of women. Because when women get money, some of them will buy funeral cloth anyway. But most of them will think about the family. So the day the mother has money, she goes, she buys a lot of food, fish, or protein source. The day she doesn't have money, she will buy kinky and then maybe some small pepper, and the family will do with it. So when women are empowered, they are economically, financially, it translates into nutrition. Because even then they are able to take care of the house environment and all that. So these are the issues. So they are so cross-cutting and interlinked. But the way nutrition has been done, we have put it in sectors. So Ghana Health Service is doing their thing somewhere, Agric is doing their thing somewhere, WASH are doing their thing somewhere. And it's like we are not looking at the interconnections, how we are going to work together to address all these issues when it comes to nutrition.
Let me add a quick follow-up. Just about 2 weeks ago, I was interacting with one official who was so concerned about aflatoxins and even raising this connection with this stunting issue we are talking about. And meanwhile, they are working solely within their agric sector. I just want to know, being governmental agencies, how are these issues floated so that once you see the interlinkages, you are always sitting at the same table and then working towards a common goal?
They are to some degree. So for instance, if Agric is calling a meeting to talk about aflatoxin, they might invite our outfit, we'll go, we'll listen, we'll maybe factor it into our general public education for people to know. But we don't see it as our core mandate to control aflatoxin, even though we know that aflatoxin, presence of aflatoxin in grains might affect the children. We health minds think that this is not our core business. That's not to say that we don't think about it. We think about it. When we get the opportunity, we incorporate it into the things we do, in the education we give. But then, to a limited degree. That's it.
Well, it's quite a